Welcome back, everyone. Today we're continuing list season as we count down the top 10 worst songs of 2025. And to be honest, I actually had a hard time filling up this list. Not necessarily calling it a good year for music. In fact, it was the total opposite. But the offensively bad stuff didn't really stick around and sour on the year. You'll see some reaches I made when I get to the dishonorable mentions. But other than that, 2025 sucked for music. And I'm not going to waste time because this was the year I had enough of Billboard and decided to act. And I meant to mention this as I was doing my best list. I decided to create my own year-end list and thus having new rules. And the reason why I did this was because a third or maybe a fourth of Billboard's year-end list for 2025 is going to consist of songs that already made year-end lists in the past. This is what happens when you have a cutoff list in October instead of, I don't know, the week before Thanksgiving. So I decided to build my own year-end list that's based on more position than chart points. Also, the chart year started the week before Thanksgiving, as I already said. Also, I'm lifting the one artist per entry rule since I have my own year-end list. If you want to take a look at what made it, link is in the description. And thanks to my year-end list, I was able to filter out a ton of 2024 dinosaur hits. Got all that? Good. So let's take a look at the top 10 worst songs of 2025. Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Number 10. A lot of artists missed the assignment in 2025. Sabrina Carpenter is one of those artists. Yeah, for the time being, I'm one of the few that don't like this song, and I've noticed a shift in Sabrina Carpenter music and marketing. I don't mind seeing her striking when the iron is hot, but I feel like she's targeting men instead of her female fans that got her the rise that she deserved. And that, alongside of her rushed Man Best Friend album and the discourse that album brought. The song itself is nothing more than a kiss-off with Sabrina Carpenter saying, "Dumb guys choose me, I don't choose them," but also blaming their mothers for not raising their sons right. But this is on the list mostly on disappointment, which is a bigger gripe to be featured on this list. Hopefully Sabrina Carpenter takes her time on her next era and make better music. Number 9. You know what? The Weeknd also missed the assignment.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been legit.
But let me get off topic. Was the Weeknd snubbing had more to do with his affiliation with Playboi Carti? But then again, Playboi Carti was nominated just last year for Carnival, a song that I refuse to acknowledge. But the reason why this is on the list is because it's boring. The song is short term, it's flexing, sex, saying ever since he's been a kid, he's been legit. Other than that, you're not missing anything. Again, on here due to disappointment, because for the final quote-unquote Weeknd project, I expected this to be a banger, and outside of the fan base, there isn't much there to it. So let's move on. Number 8. R&B had a revival in 2025, but do you consider this R&B?
Slide city, you know what that means. I'm coming up on.
And this is the second time Justin Bieber had a song nominated in the R&B fields for the Grammys. Yeah, I don't understand it either. But let me ask this question. Whose idea it was to pitch Justin Bieber's vocals? Because he sounds cheap, as does the production, and the content is a supposed sex jam, where in the first verse he mixes up Danny Phantom and Jimmy Neutron, and how he'll help move his girl like a U-Haul. Overall, the pitch vocals, cheap productions, is the biggest reason why this is on this list. Avoid it at all costs. Number 7. And speaking of questionable R&B,
Me in Miami turning up another night. We smoking broccoli, but she smelling like a ride.
it's not a worse list without a mention from Drake. I could be petty and say this is holding a spot for Meet Your Padre, a song that's an utter disaster. But this was Drake's chance for a rebound after his disaster of a beef, and Some Sexy Songs for You was not. This song is all about Party deciding wanting to smoke weed and put his hands where his hands shouldn't be, while Drake is taking his girl, also named Angel by the way, who is far from a god, and he acknowledged that his new piece is better than his old piece. But overall, this is a sloppy quote-unquote R&B cut that definitely hurt Drake more than it helped. Somebody loves you, Drake, just when you're not making music like this. Number 6. You know what? How about more Drake?
Is it Stacy? Is it Becky? Is it Keisha?
Let me pour one out to all the people, and I'll admit, myself included, who thought that this was going to be a song of the summer only for it to implode in the same season. It's Drake shouting out all the girls he could pick up, and the song features a producer named Elkin who sounds terrible. The whole baby girl, as he prolonged the world, girl, and twirl in his voice. Drake in 2025, he was still taking L's, suing Universal, and Kendrick still taking victory laps all around him. This could have been the big comeback Drake needed, but it wasn't. It was him continuing to make a fool out of himself, yet again. Number 5. This is pretty much going to be on everyone's worst list.
I want this heart, boy, it's already broke. Told me everything she touched.
I honestly think people are going to forget this song exists once this song exits the Hot 100, because I don't think anyone outside of their respective fan base remembered that this song went number 1. But here it goes. I feel like this collab felt forced. Morgan hasn't worked with a female collaborator, and he had options with the leading ladies in the Nashville scene. But as for this song, both parties, he and Tate McRae, are dealing with heartbreaks or one-night stands. Who knows? Who cares? Where the production might be the main reason why this is on this list at all, as it leans towards track production that Morgan Wallen has tried to sell us since Wasted on You and failed nearly every time. I do partially feel bad for Tate McRae. Just the fact that she has to team up with Morgan Wallen to get her first number 1 feels defeating. But hey, it's not the worst Morgan Wallen song this year. We'll get into that shortly. Number 4. I tried to give Benson Moon a chance, but what a way to kill that.
Cause it feels so mystical, magical, oh baby.
Listen, I tolerated Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else, as that song told a story, but Mystical Magical was a way to kill any hope I had for Benson Boone. And it boils down to the line Moonbeam Ice Cream, where Benson Boone tries to hide the meaning behind, but it's basically a literal cum shot. It could be that Benson Boone has retreated back to his shrill vocals that make us want Harry Styles back sooner rather than later. It could be that Benson Boone's going for retro 80 production, which, okay, had some promise. But more importantly, it's the combination of all those things that I mentioned. Just because we gave Benson Boone one major hit, didn't mean we have to give him another. Where's Harry Styles when you need him? Number 3. Christian music caught a wave in 2025. Could it be a shift in politics? Maybe. And I know faith can be a touchy subject, but they could come off as very clingy and cloying. And you want an example of this? Here you go.
Your way's better.
Forrest Frank is trying to sell the Jesus way is better, or in this case, better. He needs the Lord more than ever, needing him to put his heart together, or how he searched the world until his head hurts. And that might be the biggest reason why this is on this list. Forrest Frank's delivery can't sell this. Forrest Frank had one more song to chart, and that was Lemonade, and oh my goodness, that was trash. And all, yes, the Lord is good all the time. I just wish these Christian contemporary artists like Forrest Frank don't make cringe music like this. I think we'll be way better off. Number 2. I went back and forth between number 2 and number 1. Trust me, these two songs irked me the most in 2025. I even thought tying the number 1 this year. But I'll explain why this was number 2 and why my number 1 was, well, number 1. But out the way, how about more Morgan Wallen, please?
I guess I'm the problem, and your miss never do no wrong.
The fact that this year we got way too much Morgan Wallen music again, 2 years removed of having way too much Morgan Wallen music, shows that he cares more about quantity than the quality of his own music. Again, the more music you put out, the more likely you'll get criticized, rather from oversaturation or quality. But at this point, this song blows. He feels like he's the reason for this girl's downfall, while she gets away scot-free with little blame. Then Morgan Wallen blaming her for sticking around, basically to guilt trip her. And it brings us to the line, if I'm such a waste of breath, such a waste of time, then why are you on your way to waste another Friday night with me? It's the tone of this that is just disgusting. And despite how angry I got with this one, there was something different between this and my top pick. Before I unveil my top pick, let's go through a few dishonorable mentions.
Cause my paper long. It's a Friday night.
I didn't want to do this to Glorilla, but take a wild guess on who brought this song down.
You better still, I treat you well, I will. It's good, I can tell.
I've heard worse from Breezy as he celebrates 20 years in the industry using an Usher interpolation, but that reminded me that I'd rather listen to Usher than this.
Me dijo tu amiga que tienes el cora roto. Desde que ando libre me la paso bien loco.
Where nothing about this clicked for me at all. Only a dishonorable mention because I don't want to put songs on a list where I'm not a native speaker. He's lucky for that. Even with the sample of one of the best songs of the 2010 decade, led me to sour on this quickly.
After all the bars are closed, tell me.
Is there anything Thomas Rhett talks about other than finding girls at a bar? Next, let's take a look at some songs that didn't qualify for this list for one reason or another.
Fat, juicy, and wet. I don't even gangbang. So good, made me throw up a...
I remember Sexy thinking that this would work, but this was a colossal and forgettable flop.
I want to meet your madre, pay my respects to your padre, mi amor.
This was an utter disaster from Drake.
Lose control.
Yes, I know, this was the #1 song on the year-end list last year, but the fact that this song lingered and lingered soured on me fast. This should have been gone months ago.
Don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need.
Moving this from the dishonorable mentions list to this section of the video, y'all know the drill. I'm still sick of this song. Before we continue, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. And now, let's continue with the video. #1. I was on the brink of history for this list. Morgan Wallen could have been the first artist to get #1 back-to-back years. But let me say this. This is the 7th worst list on this channel. I've never put a woman at #1. Kim Petras doesn't count. Today is the day that has changed. For the first time ever, a woman has topped this list. And you're probably wondering, who could it be? Well,
I just bought a mansion in Malibu.
it's Jessie Murph. What other female could achieve this history? A person who appeared on my worst list twice last year, even with my rules. But this was the year we gave Jessie Murph a solo breakthrough for some reason. Now, I could be petty and say this is filling a spot for 1965, but I digress. I don't even have to explain why this song is bad. Jessie Murph's vocals are never good as she goes for a strip club anthem, all to get back at her ex. But why is this #1 and not Morgan Wallen? It's actually pretty simple. Cause while I'm the Problem was, and still is a bad song, it stayed bad. Meanwhile, Blue Strip was a bad song and it somehow got worse. How, you may ask? By placing Sexy Red on the remix, and obviously she drags the song even further into the abyss. So congratulations, Jessie Murph and Sexy Red. You achieved history. You are the first women to top my worst list. Hope your careers go down the drain and I hope to never hear your music ever again. So with that being said, Blue Strip's remix by Jessie Murph featuring Sexy Red is the worst song of 2025. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What other songs could have fit this list? I'm actually curious to hear what y'all gotta say. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cue the Wonderful Life Lady.
Yeah, you got me throwing blue strips, bed in a strip club.